Talking about the Crockett Cup, there is a real crop of talent that's coming to the Crockett Cup this year, including some really high name tag teams, high profile tag teams. We've got, of course, La Rebellion, which is the reigning NWA World Tag Team Champions. I think they're the number one seed. But the number two seed in this tournament, if I'm not mistaken, are the Briscoe brothers. And talk to me about what it means to the NWA, to the wrestling world, to see somebody as iconic as the Briscoe brothers come into NWA to be part of this.
You know, on my podcast, My World, me and Conrad, my podcast partner, we'll talk from time to time. And a lot of times conversations we have off air are something that I'm like, man, I wish we had been recording, or Conrad will say that. But the Briscoes are a team that I wish I could have had a part in booking and promoting and having them a part of the rosters that I've been a part of. I recently saw them at Game Changer Wrestling, and you know, you don't know how teams will evolve. I truly believe they're better than they've ever been, and so that is hands down who I believe are the favorites. No matter who the champions are, no matter what the win-loss record is going into this, I think the Briscoes are a team that, you know, they're no longer a hidden gem. They've been around a while, but they're at the top of their game, and I see them winning it all.
That's, I mean, that's certainly a quote, and I think that they are just stellar. I was on hand the night that they won the GCW World Tag Team titles. I was on hand the night that they're at the Hammerstein, actually with you, the night that they lost them. You would probably remember me because I was the very statuesque, heavily painted woman backstage. So, you know, I wanted to talk to you. That's a great segue too, because one of the things we started this off talking about a resurgence for the NWA, but I feel in many ways we've seen a bit of a resurgence for Jeff Jarrett. That GCW thing changed the way people saw you leading into that big matchup with Effie. People around the world were talking about Jeff Jarrett with a level of excitement that perhaps they haven't in a few years.
It's interesting. There's an article that came out in today's National Scene. It's a publication that's been around for years and years and years. Obviously, it's now not only print but digital as well. And it's, I don't know, I think this is the People of Nashville issue. And so I'm one of, I think, 10 or 15 or 20 folks. But it's pretty unique, Paul, that in the article, it references heavily the Hammerstein show and Effie and just the whole experience. And so, you know, the Last Outlaw, and I'll give the writer some credit, he coined it, you know, it's a bit of a paradox, you know, me against Effie and my lineage back to, you know, we're talking NWA, and the NWA is the governing body of the territories back in the day. So I'm you know, my lineage back to those days and the Last Outlaw, and, you know, they call them ultra-violent now, death matches, and at one time they were called hardcore, and you know, and then I guess in its early incarnations, it was action outside of the ring. But all through the years, things have evolved. But I agree, the Game Changer and the Last Outlaw and Effie and the night at the Hammerstein was something that a very, very memorable night for this Hall of Fame. That's for sure.
It was, I feel horrible to admit this, but I think on one hand, you should hear it. You looked better than I've remembered you looking physically in many years. You walked out and you were absolutely jacked.
Well, I will say this. I got calls dating back to last summer, from not just Game Changer, but from other promotions. And, you know, it goes without saying, my full-time in-ring career is definitely in the rearview mirror. But I told myself that if I'm going to do this and pick a few select matches here and there, and I'm not done with Effie, but, you know, a few select matches here and there, I'm going to get in shape. And that's kind of what I put my mind to. You know, so I'm back in the gym, and cardio, and I've taken my select in-ring appearances very serious. But I appreciate the compliment, Paul.
It's always a dual-edged sword, right? To say to somebody like, "Man, you look fantastic," but what struck me is the same thing that strikes me every time I see a Billy Gunn or, you know, other veteran stars who physically look like they have not missed a step. And whereas people, as we know, as we age, our body changes. So, you know, those are things that are realities, but one would never know that you are a 30 plus year veteran of the sport from your physics.
I appreciate that. But, you know, I think the evolution of not just physical fitness, but, you know, you look at a Tom Brady, you look at other athletes in other sports, it's all about diet, it's all about rest, it's all about getting to the gym, training smarter, eating smarter, candidly, working smarter. And so I feel very blessed to have, you know, the mindset to stay in shape.
Well, hey, if things go well on Sunday for Nick Aldis, he might hook you up with some of those legacy supplements. You know,
you never know. He'll charge me double knowing Nick.
At Legacy.